Hi guys. Hopefully this video is a little bit louder for you. I've managed to tweak some settings with my microphone and stuff. So the few of you that have been saying that you find me a bit quiet, I still think you might have a bit of issue with your phone speakers, because I have run loads of tests, but I have tweaked now everything I can possibly tweak. So there's not much else I can do, I'm afraid. You're just gonna have to put the captions on or something, but I'm gonna leave that there now, guys. Not much I can do about it. Right, so today I'm going to do a bit of scrap busting. I've got some silver and hematite scraps that I've just quickly blended together. They don't need to be perfect, guys. We're not doing a mica shift. We're going to do some extruding again. And I've got some leftover concrete. If you remember, I did some little concrete earrings and a pendant. And I had to put this to one side because I'd got a bit of foil mixed in it, but I've given it a really good condition, and now it's just I don't think you'll be able to pick it up, but there's just tiny sparkles in it. So I'm just going to use it as normal. I don't think it's going to affect anything that we're making today. And I'm going to use some, instead of using the cheats, I also have these Gilding flakes. Some of you might find these a bit easy to get hold of and to use, but these are by Tonic. They're a UK company, but I know they're worldwide, so you should be able to find this brand on Amazon and in your craft stores. And they're just loose flakes. I'm just going to gingerly open this because they tend to go everywhere. Can you see? They're just loose bits, and I'm just going to. You've got them everywhere. I'm just going to use bits of them today on the side of the jewellery, which will all become apparent when we start doing what we're doing. But yeah, all we're going to do is going to make a block with this concrete. I'm going to slice some lumps off and I'm going to chip into them to make abstract shapes. So we're going to make an abstract pendant and a pair of earrings, and I'm going to use the silver. I'll just grab them. These ear wires are what I'm going to use. Now you could just do this on a long, let me find one. You could just use a long eye pin and thread your bead through and then do what we're going to do on your eye pin, but I'm going to wrap mine up on this ear wire, and you're probably going to need one of these to sort your necklace out with anyway, or something similar. So we're going to make some abstract shaped pendants and earrings. Then we're going to extrude some silver into little sausages, and we're going to wrap as if it's wire, and make just a funky, I suppose like a bead. Make a funky wrapped bead, like a wire wrapping bead, but with clay. That's what we're going to do. So I'll just put this silver to one side. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this. Let's cut it in half first and then layer it up. And this is Soufflé, sorry. It's the concrete colour, and again it's just well, I say scraps, it's quite a big bit, isn't it, to be a scrap? But all I'm doing is I'm just going to make a block with it. I'm just doing it this way because I'm hoping there'll be less trapped air by doing it this way, rather than just trying to squish a block together. And I just want to make a block, then I can cut some bits off it. And it is quite soft, this souffle. Just going to get me square things to help me. I have these tools and I forget I've got them. Perfect for my dodgy hands. I think they're actually for reducing canes, aren't they? But I just like them because I can squish stuff with them. And they're really good for getting the air out as well. Oh, just getting those ends super squished before I carry on, guys. Oh, got a cat hair. So yeah, I'm just making a block, and I am going to rest this for a good 10 minutes because it is very warm in here today, because I've got the oven on and I've got my heater on, and it's quite breezy, so I don't want to have the window open. Right, I've made a little block. I don't think there's any bubbles trapped in, and I'm just going to let I'm going to open my window and let this sit on the windowsill for 5 or 10 minutes, guys, just to make sure that it's not too squishy for when we're cutting. So I'll be back, well, I'll be back in a second to you, but I'll be back in 10 minutes. See you in a minute. Hi guys, just thought I'd bob on because I'm just setting something up, and I'll just show you something that I do. It's just a piece of corrugated card, packaging card, and I just poke metal skewers through, and then I can straighten those out. And I've made myself a little tent, but what I can now do is hang things on like so. You can see that, so that they're tented in the oven, but I don't have to worry, you know, with beads and making a bead rack. I just do this with my skewers. Works just as well and doesn't cost a blinking fortune, and it's just a bit of cardboard. So I just thought I'd show you that. That's how I'm gonna dangle my things when we're cooking them shortly. Hi guys, this has cooled down a bit now, so we're just gonna basically I'm just gonna cut, I'll cut it in half ish, and I'll do it with, oh, we've got a bubble there. I'll just give this a bit of a squish. What we're basically going to do is make 2 abstract shapes. Now I would suggest that whatever you do to one, if you're fussy about things matching, what you do to one, do to the other. So I'm going to, I'll just separate them a little bit. In fact, let's make them about the same size before we start, might help. Right, these are going to be my earrings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a slice that way and take a slice that way, and I'm just going to change blades because that's not my sharp one. Where is it? That's better. And then I'm just going to do the same this way, slice that way, slice that way, and I'm going to go one there, one there, one there and one there, and I'm just going to start to turn it. So I'll turn it on its side, and I'll take a slice there and a slice there, and I think you can see where I'm going now. I'm just making a little geometric shape. These probably could do with being a bit smaller, so I'll turn that one that way and that one that way, and I'm just gonna cut a bit more off that one, cut a bit off that one, and I'm just making sure that all my sides are cut now. So there's one, and that bit's not been cut, so I'll take a slice there, and this face hasn't been cut, so I'll take a slice there, and a little bit there. So I've now got these geometric shapes, so they don't have to be perfect. I'm just going to slice that end off though, just to make it neater. And I think that could do with a bit of a trim as well. So let's turn this one round. I'm going to take a bit off this edge. Oh, there. And there's a little bit there. I'm just going to snip that. Let's have a look what we've got. I think this one could just do with being a little bit thinner, so I'll just take a little nip off there. So now I've got these two shapes, and I'm still not happy with this one, so I'm just going to cut that end off there. There, they're reasonably the same now. So they'll be my earrings, and I'm not happy with that bit either, so I'm just going to slice this bit here, guys. You could go forever, but just, you know, you just want a random geometric shape. And then for my pendant, just giving this a squish because I can see a bit of a bubble. There. Let's see. I'll start by just cutting into the opposite corners like so. Then I'm going to flip it and come back the other way. And it can be as chunky or as fine as you want. I'm going to cut into there, I think, and the same on the other side. Just do a little snip into there, and just keep going until you're happy with the shape, so they don't have to be perfect. Just making sure that all the faces I've snipped haven't got the original face on. I'm happy with that one. I'm just going to snip a bit off this edge here, and maybe this. And a little bit of that, because it was the original, I think. And that'll do. Maybe, I'm just going to take that bit off as well, just so it's a bit more random. I'll be here all day snipping into it. Take that bit off, and I'm going to take that bit off. So that's what I'm going to use as a pendant, and these two are going to be my earrings. Right, so what we're going to do now is, without trying to handle them too much, I got some of my flakes, put them in a bag because it makes them, the static makes them stick so they don't fly around. So I've just put a few flakes into that bag, and I'm just gonna get my tweezers and pick some out, and I'm just gonna pop a bit onto the pendant, random as possible. Oh, I'm not too worried about it being perfect, perfectly smoothed down, because it will stick itself. I just want to put some little random bits here, there and everywhere. Pop a bit there, smooth that with my finger, and I'll just put a little bit on this other side if I can get some. I'll just pop a bit here too. There, I think that's enough. Don't want to put too much on. And then I'll just do the same with my earrings. Just grab a little bit. That might be a bit too much. Let's separate it up a bit. There we go. Pop a bit. There, pop a bit there, maybe a little bit going around. Okay, you off. This is folded over on itself, so I'm just going to unfold it a bit. And pop a bit there. I don't want to obviously totally cover it. I just want some random little pieces on it. And as long as it's patted down once they're baked, I just want to put a bit on the bottom. Once they're baked, we can give them a little rub over. There we go. I think that's enough. Is that enough on that one? Maybe a little bit more. Oh, throwing it around. Where's there I saw a bit of a space. Put a bit here as well. Just making sure there's, you know, there's a little bit showing on each face, but it doesn't have to be completely covered. Right, so that's them, and we'll pop them to one side. In fact, no, we won't. We'll keep it in nice simple stages. I'm going to pop these in the oven and bake them. So that one's a bit thick, but I'll do 35 minutes. That should be enough. I can always, when I've drilled them, if they seem a bit soft in the middle, I can always pop them in for a bit longer, but I'll do 35 minutes for these. and then while they're in, we'll prep the ear wires and stuff. Right, I'll just pop these in, guys. I'll be back in a sec. Okay guys, they're in the oven. Right, what you're going to need now is a head pin for the necklace piece, and I'm using these ear wires, but you could just use another head pin and attach it to a fish hook. Yeah, so what we've got to think of is we should be able to slide this one off when it's baked, put our bead on, then our wire wrap, P4 wire wrap, and then make a little flicker on the end to attach to a bail. So that's for the necklace one. They're the earring ones. And what I'm talking about, guys, is, have you seen this when people just do like a crazy wire wrap effect? Well, we're going to do it, but we're going to use silver clay, and I'm going to use this size. It's like the one up from the one we've been using lately, just so they're just a little bit thicker. Just get my extruder, and I've just got some silver scraps here. I've been playing with it so it's quite soft, and we'll just pop this in the extruder. Oh, a lady asked me a question about extruders. Now, I've only ever used this one. I don't do a massive amount of extruding. I've had this a couple of years. It's the making one. In fact, it might not actually be the real making one, but I got this off Amazon in the UK. I put a link actually for the lady who asked the question. I think this was £12 in the UK. I think they're about the better quality ones, are about making ones, are about $20 on Amazon. And unless you're doing absolutely loads of extruding and you clean it properly, because what happens is, if you don't clean it, the clay breaks down the o-ring inside. And I know you can buy new o-rings, but you know, if you've been playing with it and then you're not going to use it for a few days, just strip it down, give it a wipe, let it dry, put it back together. You know, if you look after your stuff, and there should be no reason why, you know, it doesn't last you a long time. Right, so I'm just noticed that must have been a bit of coloured clay that I've used previously, so I'm just snipping those ends off, then I don't get any colour in there, and I'll just extrude some sausages out. Oh, now of course, unless you've got a Dremel with a very soft polishing brush on, we're probably not gonna see much of the metallic on this, but I just thought it'd be a funky look. So I'm just going to separate a couple of sausages out, and I know they're ready. There we go. And I'm going to start with the earring. I'll just nip that end off because it's a bit broken. Now, what I'm going to do is just, in fact, I'll turn it down there a bit. I'm just going to loosely wrap this around to make like a crazy bead. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And I'll just take that top bit and finish it like that. So we've got one crazy bead, and if you just gently pinch that, it shouldn't slide down any further now. I'm just going to put this on the rack behind me, then it's out of the way, and then I'll do my other one. Just tuck an end down a little bit to get you going, and then just randomly wrap it around. And you know, you can go where you want with it, but try and finish at the top, because then you can use that last bit just to neaten it off and give it a little pinch so that it grips. I'm just going to open that up a bit more. There we go, that's 2. So that's our earrings done. And then just using this eye pin, I'm just going to bend it over at the top. Now we can't, you know, you could use anything for this, guys. You could do it on a little skew or anything, but I'm just doing it on one of these eye pins because this is what I'm going to finish off with. So I've just bent the top over so I've got a hook to hang it. And again, bear in mind that if you are using these long pins, you've got to get your, I'll just get it started, you've got to get your other bead on the bottom as well. So I'm just going to probably do it about 1 inch, no more than 1 inch, and just crazy wrap that around, not pulling it tight or anything, just letting it do what it wants. Oh, except for that, because it's kinking. Let me just get that bit, there we go. And again, finishing back where I started, just so I can wrap that last bit around and just gently pinch it to join, and that'll be, oh, I'm just going to adjust that loop a little bit because it's, and that'll be the one that goes with the necklace. And I am just going to push it down a little bit just so that it rests on that pin, but we'll be sliding it back off later. So there's the one that we'll be using with the necklace. Okay guys, I can't fit everything in the oven at once, so I'll let the pendants finish baking and then I'll bake these and I'll be back. Guys, we're back. Excuse me. Everything's done. Here's the earrings. I'll probably make the bigger flat piece the back, but there's the earrings with the foil on. Now these will need varnishing. I'll talk to you about that in a minute, but there's the earrings. Here's the pendant. I don't know which point I'm going to dangle it from yet, but oh, bit of loose foil there. There's the pendant, and this is the bead that will go on the pendant. And they're quite, once they're cool, guys, they're pretty substantial, these. They're not going to go anywhere. They're not dead fragile or anything. I've done this previously, made little weird beads with sausages, for want of a better phrase. What do we call them? I keep calling them sausages, don't we? But whatever they're called. There'll be some proper word for it, won't there, that I've not got a clue about. But anyway, that's the one that will be going onto the necklace. And here the earrings ones obviously are going to stay on there now, and the earrings will attach to the bottom like so. So they're the earrings ones, and they're quite funky, aren't they? I just love doing this. Just something a bit different, adds a bit of interest. So yeah, what we need to do is I'm going to put some, I was going to drill through and put a long pin through, but that'll reach through the earrings. It's not going to reach through there. I don't know if I want to risk coming in at different ends. What do you think? Because my idea was to just put these on long pins. Oh, if I can pick the thing up, put these on long pins and just make a loop at the end. But no, I'm thinking I might just put a little threaded eye screw in the top, and that might be easier. Decisions. Anyway, yeah, we're going to need to varnish these. I'm not going to do it now because I like this Cernit matte, and what you need to do is let this dry. Well, actually I'll read you the instructions, because I bet nobody reads the instructions on this. And you have to let it dry for 48 hours. Now I only put, excuse me, a really thin coat on, so I don't do 48 hours. I probably barely do an hour. But you're supposed to wipe over with alcohol, apply 2 to 3 coats, allowing an hour between each application. Then when it is thoroughly dry, you bake it in a preheated oven for 15 minutes. Now I knew that I had to bake it, but I don't wait for 48 hours after it will be transparent. So what they're saying is it might be a bit cloudy until it's totally dried. Yeah, but I just whack it on, give it an hour, put it in the oven, and Bob's your uncle. But just bear in mind that if you do use this varnish, that's the proper way to do it. I've seen a few reviews on the Cernit varnish, and they're not the best reviews, and I don't understand why. And I'm thinking that people aren't reading the instructions properly, because I think it's fabulous when it's done, the matte especially. You don't even know it's there. As long as you use a good brush, and I use a nail brush so it's nice and fine, you seriously don't even know it's there, just to protect the foil. So I'm wondering if some people just aren't using it properly. Anyway, that aside, I am going to varnish them. I'm not going to show you guys, there's no point. I'm just going to brush some varnish over and let them dry, then bake it. So what are we going to do? I think I will just use the eye pins with a little bit of jewellery glue. In fact, I might use a little bit of bacon bond, because once I've varnished them, they're going to have to go back in the oven, and that will set it. Now I just have to decide what way up I want these to go, because they're not overly symmetrical. I'd like that to be the back on them though. I think maybe, yeah, I think I'm just going to pop them in the top on these maybe not that point, these points on the earrings. Not too sure about the pendant yet. Right, let's do that. So I'm gonna put it, oh, sorry about the banging, guys. Let's find a pokey tool, a sharp pokey tool. There we go, got a sharp one. I'm just gonna make a dot with this sharp tool where I want it to screw in. Like so. Oh, come off. I find these a bit fiddly for me, but once you get them going, they're pretty tight. In fact, I'm not going to put any thingy on because I can feel with how tight that's screwing in that it's going to be perfectly fine. I'll just make sure that the joins at the back. There's one. Oh, I'll adjust that in a minute, guys, for the earring wire. Just got to keep a good grip on this while I'm doing it. And once you get them going, which is why I poked a hole in, they work just fine. There, that's them. I'll do the earrings first. I'm just going to get my pliers. I'm just going to slide this up out the way while I do this. I'm just going to open that eye on there. I'm just going to tighten that up a bit. And which way do I want it? Let's do it side on. Pop that on. Close my loop. Slide that down. So there's one earring. Again, I'll slide this out of the way while I swing this eye open. I'm trying to not bang my tools on the worktop. I'll just straighten this eye, guys. Slide that on. Close my loop. Push that back down. So there's the earrings. A little bit different, aren't they? Let's see if I can just adjust that to slide down a bit. There we go. So there's the earrings. And then I just need to figure out what I want for the front and the back on the pendant, and how I want it to hang. I think I'll put the eye It's kind of got so many different faces that look cool. I think I want to do it on a jaunty angle, so I think I'll put the eye pin in around here. So I'll just poke a hole there. And pop this eye pin in. it down as far as I dare. Yeah. And then I'm going to need, where is it? Yeah, I'm just going to have to snip this off to get it off, guys, because I don't think it'll pull through. One sec. Get my snips. Slide this off and pop it on one of these ones that have got an eye in the end. Just feed it back through. A bit of a wiggle and it should go. There we go. And I'm just going to make a loop on the end. I'm sure I've got my looping pliers out. Oh yeah, I did. So what I'm going to do is just do a 45-degree bend, not 45 degree, 90-degree bend. Then I'm going to roll back to make a loop. Oh, I've got it stuck on my bead. There we go. It's quite a small loop. And I'll open the loop on the bottom of this bead. Yeah, on the bottom of this to attach to the pendant. Just trying to find where the gap is. Pop the pendant on. And close. And then that will push down onto the necklace. Like so. And I'll open the top. And I've just prepared a little, a small stainless steel bail, and I've just put it on a ball chain because I think it's it'll look kind of funky on that. Close that up, and then let's get this bead sorted out. There we go. So there's the necklace, guys. Bit different, bit funky. I've actually got some nice grey cord. I might put it on that instead. Bear with. I'll just grab it. Yeah, I think this will work nicely. If I can find the end, let's just undo some. Let's see. $10, $20. I'll do 30. Then there's plenty to tie around the neck, or put an end on, or whatever you want to do. Let's put it on this cord instead. Oh yeah, I like that much better. So there we go. Kind of a funky, chunky. I'd have probably made that a little bit more slimline, to be fair, but the earrings. Let's just move some of these bits out the way. I may as well I'll just give these a quick varnish while we're chatting, guys, and I can just put them to one side to dry. Just tie a knot in the end of that cord. I shake it up and then I use what's in the lid. You don't need a lot. And I like this matte one because it doesn't take away from your design. Just make sure that foil's got a good coat on it. And it's really worth, guys, buying some decent brushes. I paint and rubbish brushes, you know, they're not good. They melt when you're trying to clean them properly. They don't pick the product up properly. I mean, these are actually nail brushes that you would use with I use them obviously with UV resin, but they're so great for putting varnish on because you barely get any brush marks as long as you put it on thin and build. There we go. I think I've got all the facets, oh, apart from that black back one. So guys, come off again. Right, that's I've got a couple of hangers on my wall, so I'll just pop that up there to dry, and I'll do these earrings. And this is just to make sure the foil doesn't rub off, guys. You know, use whatever surface coating you're used to. You could even UV resin these, couldn't you? You know, just put a really thin coat on to protect it. That's if you want a shiny. Like I say, I like the matte finish, especially on this concrete colour. Have I got all the faces? I think so. All the edges. I'll just hang this on my little makeshift baking thing and do this last one. Nearly done. Sorry guys, I've gone quiet again, haven't I? So I'm concentrating, I forget to speak. There, I think I've got them all now. Let's double check. There we go. And I'll just hang this one up to dry as well. Brill. Right guys, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Something a little bit different again with the extruder. I go in little phases, don't I, of using a certain colour or a certain tool and then doing a block of stuff. I think it's just how my brain works. Just cleaning my brush. So yeah, there we go. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll put some nice pictures up at the beginning so you'll have already seen what you're doing. Hopefully this sounds a little bit better. Not much else I can do about it if it isn't. Oh, and I've covered in foil as well now. Right guys, sorry, babbling again. Thanks for watching and I'll see you all soon. Bye.